The tribunal, which kicked off hearing a total of 18 cases in Fort Portal today, ordered that the government should compensate 50 million shillings to Rukara Johnson, who took the case to the commission seeking for justice for the death of his son, Muhindo Asaph Oyet. The tribunal court had that at the time of his death, Oyet was a UPDF soldier at rank of private who was shot multiple times after escaping from lawful custody at Hima Barracks in 2010. He had been arrested on suspicion of impersonation after he was found wearing pips. The tribunal court, which was led by the commission chairperson Marion Wagadia, had that the deceased was shot by Private Jahinda Zachary and Private Mande Sowed as they tried to arrest him.
Hinda and Private Mande shot Private Oyet multiple times, and it is why he suffered all these wounds. The explanation that Oyet was suspected to be possibly armed with a firearm is not convincing. It's not a convincing one.
The tribunal contended that the shooting to death of Oyet was unlawful and amounted to violation of his right to life. The court also said that the death of Oyet deprived Rukara of his son and a father to his 3 young children and husband to his wife Bira Eunice.
At the time he escaped, Oyet had been under confinement in a cell in Hima Barracks. There are no weapons in cells and other places of detention. So how could he have accessed a gun? Even if we had believed that Oyet was at that time in possession of a gun, which we do not, it was totally unjustified to directly shoot at him. Private Yahin and Private Mande ought to have fired in the sky, scare Oyet, and cause him surrender.
While delivering its ruling, the tribunal court described Oyet's death as totally unjustifiable, arbitrary, deliberate, intentional, arrogant, reckless, and criminal, since he posed no such threat to the army or to the community.
The evidence adduced by the complainant, including admission of guilt by the respondent's agents, there is no doubt whatsoever in our minds that Private Yahinda Zacharias and Private Mande Sowed shot and killed Muhindo Asaph Oyet. The killing of Oyet was intentional, unjustified, and unlawful. The respondent neither called any defense witnesses nor filed submissions to rebut the complainant's evidence.
The same court also awarded 50 million shillings to Muhesi Sylvester Biduku, who ran to the commission after his brother Bwambale Muhesi, a resident of Mukererwa in Bundibugyo district, was shot and killed by a group of UPDF soldiers in 2007. The tribunal court documents indicate that the deceased was shot in the chest and killed by Sagoswa, who was in the company of other soldiers that had gone to his home to arrest him. Bwambale was accused of deserting the army at the time of his death.
We find on balance of probabilities that SPC Sagoswa unlawfully caused the death of Bwambale Muhesi. This amounted to violation of Bwambale Muhesi's right to life. At all the material time, SPC Sagoswa was acting in the course of his employment and as a servant of the state. The respondent is vicariously liable for his actions.
Bwambale was killed in the presence of his 9-year-old son by then Baruku Nzogo, who testified in the case.
There was no evidence that Bwambale attempted to grab a gun from SPC Sagoswa. Even if he had tried to do so, he was one against many. They ought to have manually subdued him and arrested him without incident.
The tribunal also dismissed the case of Tunaweitu Bosco, who had approached the commission seeking payment of his salary arrears from the Uganda Police Force. Bosco, a serving police officer, had also taken the force to court, claiming that he was denied accommodation and early retirement. Additionally, he alleged that he was tortured and permanently disfigured by Muhesi, an officer in charge of Biguti Police Post, in 2010. However, the tribunal rejected his case, stating that he failed to provide sufficient evidence to support his claim of torture, as the details of the alleged incident were not clearly presented before the commission.
The particulars of his alleged beating were not clearly presented before the tribunal. His testimony before the tribunal departed from his story in the complaint letter. an indication that he is a liar.
The Commission chairperson Mariam Wangadia described Twinowaito as a proverbial little brat who constantly nags, bullies and provokes others.
There was no evidence that the respondent's agents inflicted on Twinowaito severe pain or suffering. His entire case was a non-starter.